Good morning, everyone. I am trying to connect. Just give me a second, and it should be on in any moment. Okay, it should be on in any moment. Right. I really appreciate for everyone who joined me, and I'm still connecting. Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me okay, if there's any problem or not. All right, I would really appreciate if you can do that. Okay, looks like I'm connected on YouTube, I'm connected on Facebook, I'm connected on Twitch, and some other platforms. Welcome everyone. Let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if you can see me and you can hear me okay. Okay, please introduce yourself while you're just looking at just a piece of wood I worked, but it's important for me. Okay, it's really important for me. I'll try to answer your questions today. I think it's really gonna be a good session. I hope it's gonna be a good session, and some of the questions I'm gonna pull actually and answer. But again, welcome. Okay, again, people, I really do appreciate that you connecting to me, you coming back. I can recognize the same names, you know. Paul is there, Adam is there, the Jose is there, you know, some people, Richard from our Facebook already there too, and I really do appreciate you people. Okay, let me pull off the all of the comments. Right, hopefully it's gonna be good. All right, great, so you can see me and hear me. Okay, now let me show you a little update of this carving, and try to work on my way on. Okay, Ernie, I really do appreciate you, and Ernie, I've got a special gift from you. Okay, I really do appreciate, and that's right here. Okay, right here. Okay, so I really thank you for sending me those two knives. And by the way, Mirka sandpaper is my favorite also, just because it's a mesh, it doesn't clog out and so on. But let me show you guys what he sent to me. Okay, he is a knife maker, and he sent me beautiful knives. Those knives actually, I tried them. They work on a pull. Well, actually, you can do on a push also. It depends what kind of work you do. But they absolutely gorgeous knives. Okay, really nicely done. You know, if you're working on a pull and if you're working on a push. Okay, so really nice. Okay, Ernie, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me show you a piece again, and I'm gonna put that back. Now, wonderful people. All right, if you wanna send me gifts, gifts, so I'm always welcome those. Okay, please do. All right, just email me or just ask me for the address, and I'll do that. But anyway, let me do some introduction. Great. All right, wonderful. I welcome everyone. Like I said, if you do have questions, I'll try to answer. Meantime, I'm gonna carve. I noticed that Paul is actually mentioned about mahogany. All right, and let me try to pull some of the comments. Mahogany wood. Let me see if it's gonna work or not. So good morning, everyone. For some reason it doesn't. Stefan, hi, good to see you too. That is great. I am trying to pull my questions and so on for some reason it doesn't work the way I want it to, but it's okay. It's okay. So Paul is actually asking about, so he's saying, I'm not sure what type of mahogany is it, but it's an old top, it's an old desk, so I'm hoping it will be carved nice. So you are saying actually you got some really old piece, right? Or you would like to find the old piece? I'm not sure, Paul. Can you tell me exactly what do you mean by that? If you found the piece, or you just want to find a piece of mahogany. By the way, I did the project a few years ago. It was a really interesting project. You know, one of the older couple, they decided to build a dream home in North Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they moved from up north, from Pennsylvania, and for over 30 years they kept antique doors, mahogany doors, okay? And those doors they found on one of the sales in Europe, in some of the, you know, really expensive castle, I believe, or, you know, old house, and it's sold as a solid mahogany, which is the door was made, I believe, in 19th, maybe even 18th century, but I doubt 18th. I think those doors were made in 19th century. Okay, so, and they kept that for a long time, over 30 years, until they would build a dream home. And they decided to build a dream home, you know, whatever that means, you know, the dream home. You know, for some people it's just a 2-bedroom, and for some people 50 bedrooms. Okay, but anyway, so, and in this dream home they wanted to build wine room, okay, and they wanted to install those doors and carve some grape, you know, on those doors. And they hired me, they called me and they asked me, could you carve something beautiful on those doors? It's a solid mahogany. We paid top dollars, you know, for those doors. And I said, yeah, I mean, no problem. I took it to my shop, and I took to my workbench, got my gouge, dug in, and the mahogany was beautiful. Mahogany was the true Indian mahogany. And the way you find the difference, the Indian mahogany, when you put the finish on it, or shellac, so it becomes really dark finish. You don't have to stain it at all. Some other mahoganies, they don't become, you know, that dark. Okay, but this one did. But when I dug inside, the mahogany layer was only about 5 millimeters. It's actually not even 5 millimeters, 3 millimeters. It was 1/8 of an inch. Okay, it was just veneered on top of pine. All right, and it was sold. Even back then, I guess, in 19th century, people cheated. I mean, woodworkers, whatever you mean, you know, how can you cheat in woodworking? I mean, that's the way you glue up different pieces of wood on each other and sell it as a solid piece, I guess, you know, whatever that means. But I called them back and I said, you know, listen, that is the problem. You know, I've got only 3 millimeters to work with, but you said it's solid mahogany, and the grapes, they take space, you know, if you want to get really deep excavation and shape it. And they asked me if I could do anything, and I said, yeah, I'll try. And I did it. I do pictures somewhere, you know, if you on my Facebook, not on my personal, but Facebook, like on a business page, which is at Woodcarver Grabovetsky, and also Instagram is the same, Woodcarver Grabovetsky. You could tag me. You can find the picture of those doors, and those doors, I mean, they happy. I mean, they really happy. You know, they love those doors. All right, but the builder who's actually got the money from it. Okay, so he's actually not only money from those people, but he actually won a prize as a best builder of the year in remodeling over 250 per room, 250,000 cost, just one room cost. Okay, so he got the prize. All right, you know, guess, if he gave me, any of those money. He didn't. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna listen to me, the builder. I'm talking to you, so you gotta share some of that with me, because I carved those doors anyway. Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, I can see there's a lot of people actually connected. So let me see if there's any questions. And maybe I'm gonna be able to pull some of the questions. Maybe yes, maybe no. We'll see. Hopefully, I'm gonna get it. Hopefully, I'm gonna get it. For some reason, I'm not getting all the comments. All right, and let me pull some of the comments from a live stream on the Facebook. I don't know why, but something happened with my system. But anyway, you can ask me, and I can read, and I can try to answer them. Okay. Now, as far as the mahogany goes, okay, Paul. So I can see there's some people on the Twitch also connected. That is great. Paul, about the mahogany, and that is a great idea. I highly encourage, you can get actually really cheap wood if you go to some garage sale or estate sale. There's a lot of people actually, when people die, and children don't get any idea how much it costs, they sell the estates, and you can get really cheap furniture, made like in 19th century, early 20th century, and you can get really good dry pieces, and you can use it for wood carving. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna start carving right now, and please, there's a lot of questions actually. I can see not all of them I'm able to pull for some reason. Maybe I'll just while you staring at my piece, maybe I'll be able to pull it. So hopefully I'll be able to pull it. All right. So now, Paul from Iowa, thank you very much for joining. Everyone, thank you very much for joining. Okay, really do appreciate all of you people. All of you people. All right, let me try to pull some questions. And how is weather, by the way, everywhere else? In Florida today, same as always. It's really good. I guess it's good. You could say that. You could say that. I don't know, YouTube gives me a little trouble today, but it's okay. All right. So Richard is saying, or answering actually to Stefan, water in a spray bottle and a mallet will help you. That okay? I missed, I guess, the question. There is rain, but Ivan or Ivan, great to see you. But anyway, let me start carving, and let me tell you some of the questions I've got on email. Okay, I'm gonna work on this piece, and today I'm gonna show a little closer to you. And what I'm working on, I'm working actually on establishing this movement. It's rough. There's going to be a multiple eyes, eyes of acanthus. I keep saying that my eyes, but no, it's not my eyes. It's the eyes of acanthus. All right. And in this case, if you look a little from far. So that is transitioning to the ceiling, and like I said before, I'm gonna glue another board on top. I just didn't want to do it right now, just in case if I have to go around and work on it. So that's why I didn't glue yet, but pretty soon I'm gonna do it. Okay, pretty soon I'm gonna do it. Okay, so now So today my goal is actually to show how I work around the ice. All right, but if you want to see all development, the whole development of this piece, not only this but multiple pieces, you gotta be a part of my school online. But in this case, what I do, let me show you, you know, those ice and pipes. That part is called an eye. Okay, right here it's an eye. Okay, that is an eye. Right here's an eye, right here's an eye, right there's an eye. There's a lot of eyes, but just because it's transitioning to the ceiling, I had to make a pipe, which is actually part, you know, where the leaf folding, you know, there's a fold, you can call it fold, but normal way we call it the pipe, which is a raised part, convex part, and I had to make it exaggerated because I want to see a shadow. Okay, the light is going to hit from a source above, and depends how you are changing your light source. So you can see it's casting different shadow, and I really need that shadow. That's what I'm working on today. Now, one of you actually asked me about my lighting setup, and I want to tell you today what I'm using and what is actually the best setup for light. All right, so I like to use magnifier lamps, and I do have two of them. Okay, just like that. All right, and those are LED. They about, I believe I paid like $90 per each. Why do I like particular ones? Okay, again, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just trying to answer a question. So those lights, you know, I can position from any point, you know, on my workbench, and I can cast any type of shadow and just check whatever I wanted to, because sometimes if you're just using natural light, and especially the worst light if you're using just a buff light, so you're not going to be able to see all the cuts and all the facets on your work. So that's why the best idea to get at least one light, but I encourage you, if you can afford, to get two lights, because it's always better to use the two lights. All right. Why I like particular this one? Okay, so it's actually just a normal magnifier glass, which is you can buy them really cheaply, but this is a little more expensive. And if you look really close to it, it does have a like a red side and a whatever, you know, the gray side. It changes color. I mean, look what happens with my piece if I'm gonna just change the color. All right. So I can make it yellow and get rid of completely of white, and I can work at night without getting tired. If you know the logic behind blue light or yellow light versus orange versus blue light, you know, your brain, how it operates actually during the daytime, you concentrate a lot better on the work when it's a, you know, daylight, like a blue light, I would say. Okay, now at night your brain's actually switching to night, you know, brain work, I guess, and you react more to the orange. Yes, you get tired a lot quicker because you're gonna get you know, that hormone melatonin we call it. Okay, and you get tired, but your eyes not get you're not gonna get really tired. I really like those lights. Okay, really love those lights. So, and during the day I can actually get rid of you know, yellow or whatever it's marked as a red one, and I can actually dial, you know, how much I want to get my light. I can get actually really bright if I want to, and also the advantage of those lights, I can get really close and work on micro details, you know, whatever I'm working on, and I can see a lot better, almost like you see on the camera, because sometimes I'm doing you know, some section of carving, some section of the carving, and you can see a lot better than me. I mean, the people who's actually watching me doing it. Okay, so So that's why I love those likes. If you want to, please let me know. I'll place a link below after video. I did not place any links this time, but I'm gonna place a link below to Amazon. You can buy that on Amazon. And yes, I believe it's sold also in Europe and so on. All right, that's good. So what is the brand of magnifier lamp? Richard is asking. Richard, okay, let me answer you. What is the brand? I have no idea. No idea what is the brand, but I'll find my orders, and like I said, I'm gonna place a link. All right, I'm gonna place a link. All right, so but maybe it says somewhere. I don't think it says, but that is more professional lights, which is my daughter. She's in architectural program, and architects, they really love that particular light. Okay, so and it's good and it's flexible, and it, you can position it as low as you wish, and you can use it as a above light if you wanted to. And like I said, it's just a dial C, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, it doesn't have to be that light. I just like, I don't like the above light because it just dulls all my carving. And with this light, I can actually position just on an angle with the two sides, and I can turn one off, and I can just cast the shadow, whatever the shadow I want to. And it's flexible and it stays. I don't have to crank anything. Whatever the position I place, see, my hand is that doesn't do anything. It stays right there. So it's one of the I mean, there's some more expensive lamps, but they don't do that. Okay, and I've got multiple, but I love those. Okay, I love those. Let me see what other questions. Oh, absolutely. Richard, I'm going to place a link on YouTube. Maybe you watching me from Facebook. I'll place it maybe also on the Facebook. Okay. Good mood today, Jeffrey. Yes. I mean, you're talking about you, or are you talking about me? I'm always in a good mood. I'm always in a wonderful mood. Okay. But anyway, so that was one of the questions. Which is the best light? Okay, so which is the best light? Oh, I forgot to answer another question. There's another question which is really important. It's a position of your tools on a workbench. What is my preferred way? There's a lot of carvers, I guess. I mean, nowadays you can Google wood carving, and there's a lot of stuff popping out, and some of the people call themselves carvers. But anyway, when I ask or somebody else showing the picture actually of a wood carving bench, I can tell if this carver is a professional carver or he's just calling himself professional. But by just looking at position of the tools on a workbench, there is such a thing as the right and the wrong way to position your tools on a workbench. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you on this example. Okay, if you see a carver and his tools looking like that on a workbench, two things. All right, two things. So number one, so he's probably tired and it's time to get break, because I mean, sometimes it happens with the professional people also. It's number one. So take a break. Okay, take a break. Matter of fact, it's actually a good practice to take a break every 20 minutes, because you're really tired, your brain's tired, and you place your tools really messy. And if the tools becoming messy like that, so that means if you are professional, that means you have to walk away and reorganize. Okay, now some of the people placing tools like this, let's say if they're working on some of the piece, let me pull some of the board, just example for you. Okay, working on a piece and they placing tools like that. All right, so and I saw some of the professional people doing it also, but it's not really convenient because you hiding tools behind the the handles and behind the cutting part. You don't even know what's the tool laying right there on a workbench. So that is, I don't think it's not the right way to do that too. Some people, a lot of people, placing tools away from themselves, okay, away like that. All right, if working piece right here on that side, and they placing handle toward themselves, and that is also, I mean, I know there's some professional people actually do it, but it's not convenient. You really don't see the profile. If you have 5-10 tools, I guess it's okay, but if you have hundreds of tools, and let's say you're pulling your tools out of your whatever the storage place you use or storage system you use, you really can't read the profile. Yes, I mean, on a Swiss made, I mean, they made it obvious. I mean, they mark it. But let's say on a Ashley Isles, there's absolutely no marking. You have to just see what tool it is. Of course, in this case, it's just a skew chisel. But if you pull some of the tools, let's say like a Gouge by Ashley Isles, you really have no idea. You have no idea what tool that is, and you don't know the sweep because you're looking at from above, and you don't see, the sweep itself. And also, it's really hard to grab sometimes. I mean, it looks like it's supposed to be easier to grab, but it's not. It's not. So the proper way to position your tools on a workbench, at least how I am doing it, all the time, if I'm pulling tools out and place it on a workbench. So like that, facing toward myself, okay? The reason why, and I'm leaving space between those tools, about an inch or so, okay? And when I'm grabbing, I'm actually taking by the handle, and right now it just becomes available in my hand. Really easy, okay? See? Really easy. And I can show you actually closer, okay? If you've got your tool like this, so you just grab it by the handle, and it's already available for carving, okay? So it's a really easy and comfortable way to use your tools, okay? Versus you grabbing it, and it looks like it's supposed to be ready, but not necessarily, okay? First of all, you don't see, and secondly, it's not that comfortable. Also, some people, they do have a concern about is it dangerous to place your tools like that or not? I mean, toward yourself. Can you cut yourself? Yeah, if your piece is too close and you're grabbing like that, yeah, I mean, you can just bump again, and you can cut. All right, let me see. Okay, Paul, don't worry about that Nightbot. It's just the Nightbot who's controlling the chat. Okay, give me as many emojis as you want. Okay, please don't pay attention to it. Okay, I have to turn this off somehow. Okay, but anyway, thank you very much for saying some nice comments. So that's the way I handle the tools. Even if it's the big, even if I'm not grabbing by the handle, I can always grab, by the cutting part and start carving. Okay, so that was one of the questions. Now, as far as other questions, let me see. Paul is saying, I tried to use a scrap basswood with the rubbing compound to strop the inside of my bent gouge. It worked really well. Thank you for tip. Oh yes, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely. I just hate when people don't. I mean, I hate when people trying to push your simple idea, which is this one. Okay. Which is, hold on just a second, let me pull it like this. All right, so that is a flex cut strop. Okay, flex cut strop. But what it is, it's actually a piece of basswood. Okay, piece of basswood glued on top with the leather and with a few different profiles. But it has a limitation. it has a limitation. I mean, not all of the tools can you fit on that one, okay? Yeah, it's a good idea. They're selling it, okay? They're selling it. And it's okay to buy. I mean, if you wanted to, I can place a link to you. But a better idea, I'm not trying to, you know, get rid of those guys. You know, I'm talking about the flex cut. I don't want to push them out of the market. That's not my goal. But the better idea, just to create your own. I mean, whatever the profile you want to do, you know, you can just create your own stropper. You know, just to create the profile and then use a compound and just to strop it. That's it. That's what I showed you in a, you know, in I believe not in previous, but previous workshop. Okay. Okay, I'd like to know where to find that strange gouge. I mean, the one looks like what? Ivan. Harspoon. Which one? Oh, this one? Like this one? Steven, hello. Good to see you. Steven, good to see you. All right, so this one is called Gonzalez tool, okay? I've got a few of them, okay? They've got different profiles, couple of them like this, okay? I hope it's I understood you correctly about this tool, okay? That is Gonzalez, Ray Gonzalez. He is a master woodcarver in UK, all right? And he actually invented that tool, but it's actually not his invention and all, although it is kinda, but it's not. It's pretty much the same as a skew chisel, all right? The same as a skew chisel, all right? So if you want to do something like that without, I mean, they selling in United States at toolsforworkingwood.com. I mean, you can buy those Ray Gonzalez tools. It's by Ashley Isles. Okay, so you can buy with full size, or they do have a small, like lady hand or block cutter size. Let me show to you what is block cutter. Like you know, the block cutter size tool, Ray Gonzalez. It's actually also handy to have. But they are really handy. But in reality, you don't have to. You can actually modify if you want to do a tool like that yourself. What you can do, you can get a skew, same skew, which is a 22 degree skew. It's what I like to use. I mean, you know, you should probably know there's a different skews. I mean, there's a 45 degrees skews. There's a 22.5 degrees skews. There's actually 60 degrees skews. And let me see. Let me show you the 45 degrees. Okay, this one is a 45 degrees skew versus 22.5 or 22 approximately. I would just I use a lot skew and the knives. Okay, so what you do, so you can actually, and I've done on some of my tools, you grind out some part of it, okay, some part of it. You really don't, I mean, this one has all, I mean, this part of a tool has a 22 degrees and this part has a 45 degrees. I mean, you could, you know, reshape it, but in reality, you don't even have to. I mean, you can use just a 22.5. And it's not new invention. Chip carving knives, some of the chip carving knives, let me see if I have one or not. This one, yes I do. Chip carving knives, chip carving people sometimes call this knife as a flag knife, okay, because it looks like you know, the small flag, okay, like a banner or something, you know, the flag knife. So this one has the same idea, because you're using this tool on a pull, on a push, but you're using front and also the back, all right, the front and the back. And the way you use, let's say, let me show you on a piece, all right. So if you have a skew, let me find the area where I'm safely can use. So you can actually get to even tiniest spots and use it, you know, in the tiniest spots like that, okay, just as a knife. And you can control with ease just a normal skew. That was using the front part. So exactly the same you would just get with the Gonzalez tool. You just using the front, and you can create beautiful cuts, concaves and convexes with no problem. Okay, So you can do that really quickly and easy. Okay, so it's actually sometimes replacing completely need of some of the gouges. Okay, so this is a I would say skews and knives. I know some of you in England, you would say anathema, because English woodcarvers, they don't use knives and all. But it is it is used in Europe a lot. That was just using the front. But with this tool, you could use actually the back side also. Okay, the back side, just like that, if you need to, just the back of it. Okay, and that's what I'm doing a lot of times with the skew. I'm just using the back side of it. Let me show you the bigger one, because that was a little too small. But see, I'm just using the back side of my tool, and I don't think I'm going to be able to show you closer because my camera position I focused on another area. But see, I mean, you can just use a skew to clean everything and just round, and it's a beautiful tool. Okay, I hope it answers the question. Okay, Gary is saying that Gonzalez tool isn't available anywhere on the internet. I searched tools for workingwood.com. Let me try to pull that link. Okay, let me try to pull that link, if I'll be able to or not. But it's a tools for workingwood.com. They should have it, unless if it's sold out, because sometimes stuff is sold out. But you really don't have to buy. This particular tool. I mean, Gonzalez tool. So you can buy just a normal skew, and even without modification, you can use it as Gonzalez tool. So it's just, I mean, if you wanted to, I actually modified even small tools. Let me show you one of them right here. I actually modified the small tiny tools also, and let me show you a little closer, if I'll be able to pull it a little closer. Okay, see this tool right here? It did not have that hillside. Okay. So, but the idea was exactly the same. I just grind it a little bit on the back side, and now I can use this one. It's also 22.5 degrees. I also grinded this side. It was just a normal skew, but I reshaped that. Okay, and this tool, it's a micro tool by Peter Benson, by the way. Peter Benson is also a master woodcarver. All right. So, hope it answers the question. Okay, now, do you have any more questions about that? Or maybe let me pull some of the questions. Let me see. All right, let me carve a little bit. And I'm gonna, just to get one of the eyes done, okay? And that rest of it is gonna be available only on my school site. But I also like to use number 9 when I'm using when I'm doing eyes, and the number 11s. Okay, let me show you one of them. Okay, I'm gonna show you this one, for example. Okay, I'm gonna show you this one. Okay, so right now I don't have any shadow, and that doesn't look too appealing. Yes. Later on, it's gonna have a lots of shadows, and if you look in overall picture, see those areas? Those are eyes, and they have a really deep shadows. Okay, so really deep shadows because I excavated them out. I mean, everywhere those are eyes, but right here you don't see any shadow. Just blends together with everything. So it is no bueno, no good. So we have to do one. Okay, not one, but there's going to be multiple ones. And the way I do it, there's a few different ways I do. So I place number 9, let's say, in 1/8 of an inch tool on inside. It doesn't matter what brand. You can use File, you can use I'm using right now Ashley Isles because I really love, you know, those tools. I really like actually also 2x tools if you have those, but file is mostly available, and I'm using that tool and I'm cutting around just like that, like a plug. Okay, and I'm rotating and I'm removing a plug. That is exactly what it is. Okay, it's just like plug. Okay, and that's how I call it actually, you know, the plug cutting. And I can get as deep as I want to. It all depends on the shadow I'm after. And in this case, I really want to get good shadow because my leaves are, you know, close to each other, and they almost lost on the picture, and that's no bueno. So wood carving is all about the lights and the shadow, pretty much. All about lights and the shadow. And I've got good, let me see how deep I got. See, I've got about 3/8 of an inch, about 10 millimeters in, a little more actually, about maybe 11 millimeters in. That's how deep I got my cut. And yes, I mean, I can get, there's going to be another eye. I can get right away pretty much those plugs out. And you just rotate, remove it, and repeat, all right? And repeat, see, and that plug is out. But be careful, see what just happened? You know, that stuff is flew out. Let me see what's the questions are. Camera is not showing the cut. Okay, hold on, which camera I'm using? It should show, oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, is it better? I apologize. I guess it was a secret cut, so you're not supposed to know, right? So it was a secret. I shouldn't show that to you, right? But I apologize. Please, asking for forgiveness. Forgive me, all right? Let me show one more time. Let's start all over. So what well, I already done those, and this one, this cut is about, you know, like I said, about 11 millimeters deep, maybe even more than that. It's more than 3/8 of an inch. It's not quite half an inch, almost half an inch. But see, this is also an eye. Is it better camera right now? All right. Jeffrey, are you trying to say that in Russian? He's saying it's good, all right? Okay, now hold on just a second. Jose, will you need the printer for school projects? Yes and no, okay? Yes and no. Yes, I mean, I am providing on my school site all the patterns, okay? So you can print them. But if you don't have a printer, you can go to any print shop in the United States. I mean, you can go to FedEx, you can go to UPS, or even in some Office Depot, and print this out. But see what I'm doing? I'm just actually cutting out that plug, but I need to make it wider because my space between those two lines are too close. But anyway, go to the printers. You can go to those one of the print shops, local places, and they can print for you, and it's not that expensive and all, even the huge pieces, okay? So you can print that out. For example, for the lines I showed you previously for the school, those ones like 48 inches, I'm talking about those ones, okay? They are about 48 inches right here. So you will need to print that probably in the print shop. Paul is saying, no bueno, famous Russian saying. Oh yes, absolutely, yeah. Hey, Paul, I live in the United States, all right? If you live in the United States, you gotta speak the language of a land. And no bueno is a language, you know, of a land. There's a lot of people actually, you know, speak that language. All right, so there's another eye. What can I do? There's another eye. See what I'm doing? I'm actually just using number 9 and rotate and pop out. See those plugs right here? So I call it plug cut. All right, there's going to be another eye. There's going to be another eye. And no, it's not the end. You know, it's only beginning of a stage of this eye. But see, I pop them out. But it's not the end. Now what I have to do, I have to rotate. If I just rotated that straight like 90 degrees to the cut, to the surface, now I need to angle it toward inside and do exactly the same. And carefully do my rotation motion and go in, go in, go in, and create that shadow, but it has to be full rotation until that pops out, okay? Can you see that now? Can you see that now? Hold on just a second, let me read. Oh yes, Brian, especially in South Florida. There's some places in Miami you can't get anything without speaking Spanish. Even just in normal grocery stores, so you gotta speak Spanish. You can't get the job in some of the areas in Miami without Spanish language. It's a reality of today. Especially down here. Oh, by the way, Florida, it's I don't think it's actually even a part of United States. I mean, I shouldn't say that, okay? It is a part of United States, of course, but it's different, okay? It's absolutely different, right? So it looks different, people speak different, even language is different. Although it depends where you're at. By the way, I live about 10 minutes from a president, so I guess smart people live in Florida, all right? I mean, welcome to visit. All right, wonderful. So let me read. Brian, you here in Florida too? Oh yes, yeah. Smart people, you know. Brian, you are smart. You are wise. Okay, but let me finish the eye, because that is not the end yet. Okay, the next step would be a couple ways you could approach to finish this eye. I really like to use number 11s, okay, which is veiner, okay, and cut a little bit out toward the front, okay, but I need to, you know, just attack from opposite direction. I mean, it would help if I would just use the tool the right way. And cut toward that hole. Everything goes to the hole. Everything goes to the hole. I know it's kind of doesn't sound right, but it's okay. But see, I just done, almost done, of course, an eye of a canvas. And yes, I need to undercut a little bit and clean it. And I can attack on the inside. It's not done 100% because I usually don't clean until everything is done. But I can actually do some undercutting if I want to. With smaller tools, hit that again with the number 11. And this one, by the way, it's a Swiss made. If you want to, after stream, if you don't have one, I'll place a link on Amazon where you can buy it. It's going to be much easier, so you can go and just get one. Right, and everywhere I could do that too. See, it took me about a couple seconds actually to do those eyes, but let me show you in overall. It's not done, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's not done. It's not done. It's you know, just showing you the idea, but it's already, just because I've got those black spots. Oops, something happened with my camera, I guess. Those black spots, so you can already see it's starting to pop out, especially when I'm going to do complete outline and excavate much deeper. So this element is going to pop even more, same like everything else. Okay, so because it's going to be not blending as much. Let me read some of the comments. Venus, Florida. You are on the other side of the Florida. Stefan saying, thank you for the knowledge you're sharing. You are welcome. Absolutely. Okay, wash hands. Okay, let me see what you're talking about. So, are you talking about my hands and some dark spots on my hands? It's not dirt. It used to be tattoo. I'm just getting rid of them. Alright, I'm just getting rid of them. It's they just did not disappear yet completely, but some of the earlier videos you will see some of those tattoos used to be there. All right. Okay, great. So I guess today it's enough. I've done previously little longer videos, and I also checked the statistics, how long people watching it, and I don't think I'm gonna do any more really long, like an hour and a half. There's no reason for that at all. Okay, and we already like about 50 minutes. I really do appreciate people that you checked in. I hope some of the questions were answered. If you do have a questions, please ask me ahead of time. I still have some of the questions I did not answer, but just to wrap up, I mentioned a little bit about light I'm using. So that is the light actually. And why is it not on? Did I disconnect? I guess I disconnected it. I guess I pulled the plug out. Something happened. Don't know what happened, but anyway, lights and some positioning of the tools on the workbench, and some skews or skew chisels. And yes, I do have actually skew gouges too. You know, I really love skew gouges. Let me show you one, at least one. Okay, here it is. You know, there's a skew gouge. It's also a skew, but it's number 7. Okay, what style is it? Rococo. How you pronounce your name, Mr. Bahrami? Okay, it is Rococo. So it is, but it's a specific Rococo to Venetian style. Okay, to Venus 15th, 16th century, because you can't just say it is Rococo or Baroque. It would be a big mistake. There's a lot of people actually making that mistake when they say, oh, I carve Baroque. Hey, what type of Baroque you carving? You know, it's just, you know, it would be silly to say that you carving Baroque. Baroque from France? If yes, then let's say which Baroque? From what century? Okay, not century, but what, you know, years. Southern France, Northern French people, they carved absolutely different Baroque style. If it's Rococo, what Rococo? Which country, what place, even inside of the country, what town, okay? Because they developed their own different stuff, okay? Okay, now John is asking, I'm not sure if anyone has asked this question. Where do you primarily purchase the basswood that you're using for your projects? Yes, I answered this question, and that's a really normal question to ask. And I'm going to mention it quickly. In one of my streams, I did actually a lot deeper. I'm getting a lot, okay? I'm getting a lot. I don't know how much you need, okay? If you are in a production like me, I'm carving for living. So I'm making actually, I'm making some money, all right? I don't know. At least I'm trying, okay? At least I'm trying. Now I'm getting truckloads, a lot. I'm placing special order with the Hardwood Lumber Yard, which is located in Orlando, and they get that basswood for me. But I get basswood years ahead of a project. because you know, there's the two types of dryness of a basswood and all other woods. There's a natural dryness, air dry, and kiln dry. Okay, so when you usually get that from a lumber yard, usually it's a kiln dry. Okay, so they use that big stove and they just cook that out. Okay, but I found that it moves a lot more. When I buy a wood, I actually place it to my shop and don't touch it. Some of the wood I did not touch for over 10 years. Some of it actually, I still have some of like a 20 years still in my shop I did not touch. When it's air dried, so you eliminate that movement. Okay, but I'm getting my basswood in big chunks, big truckloads. I'm spending thousands of dollars in just the one load. But if you're looking for just small pieces of basswood, you can actually get some even on Amazon.com. I can actually find some of the blanks what people in my school buying on Amazon, and I'm gonna place it right below, so you can just get some blocks of wood. Other place you can get woodcraft.com. It's not cheap though. It's not cheap. I mean, you can check. I mean, the smaller piece you buy, you're paying. It's going to become more expensive. Yes, you spend less money, but it's more expensive, and it makes sense why, you know, why they charge what they charge. But anyway, I'm going to place some link. So I'm buying in a lumber yard, which is not just normal building lumber yard. It's actually hardwood lumber yard. It's not open to public. You have to be in business actually to buy from them. But if you're just a public, you can buy online, okay, with no problem. All right, so Brian is saying join his school. Are you answering to someone? Hold on just a second. Oh, I know you saying that to Bahrami, Mr. Bahrami, join the school. Yeah, absolutely, master. How can I learn about all styles, you know, and hey, join my school. All right, there's lots of links actually, you know, above in the chat and below, schoolofwoodcarving.com. I have people from all over the world, you know, from all over the world. Okay, so, and I'm talking about different styles, little bit, not much, but a little bit. Okay, let me read more. Okay, John, you're saying thank you. Yes, small pieces are easy to get. Yes, big pieces difficult to find. Yeah, absolutely. But you can always glue together. I mean, just get a couple small pieces and glue them together, laminate. I mean, take a look at this piece. Okay, this is not the solid wood. I would not use a big piece like that. Okay, I glued that together in multiple layers. I've got 1, 2, and 3 boards like this, and there's like a 2 inches thick the first layer, then I've got another 2 inches thick second layer, then I've got another 2 inches thick 8/4 layer, and then I glued to the back this one, you know, 2 inches, which is 8/4 piece, and that way I'm just building up. Okay, so you really don't have to buy. By the way, you save money if you buy lesser, thinner pieces versus 16/4, like 4 inches. I could buy 4 inches thick for this piece, but I would spend a lot of money for that, and that would not be wise, because they're charging a lot for the thicker piece, and the thicker piece is a lot more movement, by the way, because the reason why, if you look at the grain, let me draw that a little bit. Okay, so let's say if you've got, if you do have a 4 inches block, all right, if you have a 4 inches block and you have a rings like this, okay, this one is gonna move, okay, but to achieve the same result, so let's say you need exactly the same block. If you need exactly the same block, and if you just to get some lamination going, okay, let's say you've got the grain like this, then you just alter it Okay, so you can just alter that grain, different directions, and this way this piece is not going to move as much, it's not going to warp. Okay, this one will, I mean, this one will warp, this one won't. Okay, I mean, the right side is not going to warp, it's better. Okay, and this one is no good. Hope it answers the question. So get the smaller pieces, even on Amazon. Even on Amazon, you can get the smaller pieces. And like I said, I'm going to check. There's some people from my school, they buy on Amazon. I'll check those links and I'll place right after video, actually, pretty much is done. Right after stream is done, I'm going to place that below. Okay, let me see. Now, Stefan is saying, I expect easier in lime than oak because of the grain. Absolutely. I'm not sure if you communicate to each other. You're saying to me, yeah, oak is a lot harder wood, of course. Lime wood, which is the best wood, pretty much absolutely easier. Okay. Okay, John is saying you never thought about deeper projects. I always laminate for this reason. Even if I'm getting a sculpture, okay, for example, those lines, okay, those lines. If you look at them, they really deep. I've got to the nose, from the back to the nose, we're talking about 12 inches. I don't remember exactly, but I laminated that together, you know, those pieces, because I want to prevent the movement. I did not want to carve a solid log. Otherwise, it would just crack. It would just develop some cracking. And by the way, as far as the cracking, if you look at the whiteboard, I mean, that big piece, so that big piece, you know, it's gonna develop some cracks on the inside. I'm talking about a piece like this, so it's gonna have some cracks on the inside. But let's say if this is gonna crack on the inside somewhere, it's not gonna pull all the grain together. Okay, doesn't matter where it's gonna crack. If you're gonna develop the crack, it's not gonna pull this piece. I mean, this is gonna be safe. So that is always safer. Just laminate multiple pieces. Again, I'm telling you just my opinion, and I'm not saying that I understand 100% everything, but I just use the logic, and also my teacher taught me that way. You know, I guess, you know, that's how he done it, and I checked. Other woodworkers did that too. All right, they really pay attention to the grain. All right, I think that's it. Wonderful people. What glue is better? That is the last question. Ivan or Ivan? We call in Russian Ivan, but Ivan. I'm using just a normal Type Bond 2. Okay, there's a Type Bond Original, there's a Type Bond 2, and there's a Type Bond 3. I use Type Bond 2 for inside interiors, and I'm using Type Bond 3 for outside projects. Type Bond 2 doesn't give me, it's a premium glue. It actually holds forever. You know, it's a really good glue, and it doesn't create a dark line. All right, it creates a yellow line, but it doesn't create the dark line like Type Bond 3. Type Bond 3, when it dries, it creates the brown line. And if you're using lighter wood, it distracts the eye. You could use Type Bond 3 on a darker wood, or if you're planning staining, so that would also be appropriate. But I found also Type Bond 2 dries quicker, okay, for some reason. I mean, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but it dries quicker, and I like quick. All right. Good, let me read it. Yeah, Type Bond 2, Richard, absolutely. Type Bond 2, because it's the best. Maybe, I don't know if I have one right here or not. I can probably show to you what I'm talking about. Right here. I found one. Here, I'm buying by gallons, all right? So that is what I'm, sorry for the dust. Okay, I'm buying by gallons. I'm not, okay, that is a wood carving shop. I mean, it shouldn't have any dust. I don't know where that dust coming from. I'm not using any bore machines. I'm using just gouges. But anyway, that is what I'm using. Thank you very much, people. Have a wonderful day today. Carl is saying, you are great. I learned so much. Thank you very much for this. Oh, absolutely, Carl. Lori saying, very interesting. Thank you very much. And by the way, I keep my accent. Don't tell me anything about my accent, okay? I love my accent, okay? Now, people, as always, I really do appreciate that you joined. I'm gonna continue filming for my school because you just see in the chunks, really small chunks of what is available online. Some of you actually are part of my school. If you want to see the full development, if you want to see all the tricks, and I don't know if, I mean, can you even say tricks in woodworking and woodcarving tricks? Woodcarving techniques. Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, there is some tricks. There are some tricks. And then you have to be part of my school. All right? I'm not pushing it, of course. I mean, it's up to you. I have hundreds of people already joined. But my passion, why I started this school, not, I mean, obviously, if I'm carving for a living and I'm carving for richest people on the planet Earth, I could live just with that. But I opened my school because people from all over the world asked me to show tricks. I mean, tricks are tips, wood carving tips, and the projects, how I work. And I invite you. It's actually not the school even. I like to say that it is schoolofwoodcarving.com, but it's not school. It's actually more a community of people who share a passion for wood carving, sculpture, and just the art in general. Okay, and why I called that school? Because of Google. You know, you can't say virtual apprenticeship. You're not going to be on the page 1, but if you put School of Wood Carving, I'm going to be on the page 1. So it's not, you know, it just was nowadays game, I guess. Okay, schoolofwoodcarving.com. All right, so check it out. Thank you very much. I'll be back on YouTube. Don't forget, so you still have to like it and subscribe it, and don't forget that bell if you want to get notified by email or by whatever, how you get notifications. And make sure you just get all notifications. When you hit that bell, just make sure you get all the notifications, because otherwise you're gonna miss a lot of videos. Now, if it's okay with you, please copy that link when you share it also on Twitter, and share it on a Reddit, and share it on a Facebook. Okay, share it to the groups on your profile. I would really appreciate it. I'm not asking you, okay? I'm not, yes, I am asking, I guess. I guess I'm asking you to share it, but not that I'm pushing it, okay? It's just gonna show you the other people. Actually, maybe there's some people who still gonna, I mean, maybe they're gonna like what you watch, but they still don't know. I did not push that YouTube for a long time and all. Maybe I'm gonna do a little more, but see, maybe there's gonna be a lot more subscribers. But if you would share, spread the word, it's you know, grapevine communication. I think, I mean, makes sense. Grapevine communication, I guess. Okay. Thank you very much, wonderful people. Let me read some of the last comments. Jeffrey's saying, easier to understand what you're saying. What you say? Okay, great. Thank you, wonderful people. Have a wonderful day. Blessings to all of you. If you're south in United States, you all right? If you're north, all of you, okay, thank you very much. And if you're anywhere else, just